Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to StarCraft 2 Stadium. I am your host, Ivy Fearless. Today we are going to be looking at a game between EGIdrA and FnaticMSiTTI's TT1. IdrA spawning as our green Zerg player in the top right corner of Shakuras Plateau, with TT1 spawning as our blue Protoss player in the top left corner of the same map. PvZ is one of my favorite matchups to watch because there is so much evolving in the matchup right now. Traditionally, it was thought to be quite well, I say traditionally. There's a camp that IdrA leads that thinks that PvZ is particularly imbalanced because of some of the difficulty that Zerg has in scouting. He is the foremost proponent of the idea that you cannot actually get proper scouting information or any useful scouting information with a drone, an initial drone scout, simply because Protoss can get a ranged unit out to kill it off so fast. I will be very interested actually to see whether or not we see a drone scout from IdrA, and sure enough, nothing so far. We'll have to see whether he decides to go for a more economic build or... Nope, there he did put down his spawning pool. Meanwhile, TT1 is continuing to probe up, has not started anything in particular, does have his first pylon down, but we have no indication as to what he's going to be doing. It does look like he is going to be starting a Nexus first, going for the slightly more economic build. And now that IdrA has chased that probe out of the way, he will be dropping his a hatchery of his own. I'm a little bit surprised that TT1 did not try to block that. Maybe he was going to and then just thought, nah, why bother? So, 15 spawning pool, 15 hatch for IdrA, and a relatively quick Nexus out for TT1. Has started a Forge, going ahead and dropping his first gateway. Once again, this matchup is very interesting. Traditionally, as I was saying, it has been considered slightly in favor of the Protoss, though there are quite a few Zerg who would actually disagree with that. Now it is becoming even more and more Zergs are starting to disagree with that, because there are some very interesting things you can do with infestors, and Zerg players are just kind of getting a better sense for army composition. It used to be that, and actually IdrA really was a big proponent of the 2-base Roach burrow push, is no longer doing that so much, but instead people are tending to go with very heavy Zergling infestor mixes, and then going into Ultralisks or Broodlords, but staying on those infestors. We do see a pylon go down here by the destructible rocks for TT1. A little bit of a sneaky pylon, and there a very fast third for IdrA. Does not even have 2 bases saturated and went ahead and grabbed a 3rd base. Very interesting. We do see a Zergling coming back to try to take care of this probe. Wants to make sure there are no sneaky pylons going down there. Unfortunately, we'll probably not scout this pylon, maybe for the entire game. We will have to see. So IdrA trying for a very economic, heavy build. While on the other side, we do see some Stalkers starting to come out. For TT1, Warp Gate is being researched. I have seen a lot of Protoss players favoring a very heavy Blink Stalker mix against Zerg, simply because it lessens some of the the problems you have with the Zergling's mobility. This Zergling, it seems, will spot that probe, will take that down without much trouble. However, there are a lot of gateways coming down for TT1. Currently, 5 gates up top, 1 gate at the bottom. We should be seeing a very heavy 6-gate timing push. Probe did get taken down. He will have to send out another one unless he's going to rely exclusively on this pylon down here. I don't believe TT1 has a robo yet, so we should be seeing a very straight push. Ground weapons level 1 is being researched. There's not actually a lot of space he can warp in outside. He is completely walled off, so I would not be surprised if he was relying entirely here and there. As we speak, the Zealots start to come in. And it doesn't look like they will be spotted quite yet. However, as soon as IdrA sees these Zealots, he will know that there is a pylon hanging out somewhere. Zealots running in to try to deny this third as best they can. Zergling's starting to run in as well. However, they will not do a whole lot against these Zealots. Drones are pulled and do take down one Zealot, but unfortunately the other Zealots are able to just run right on in. 12 roaches in production. Another 4 Zealots coming up to the high ground, starting to try to snipe this hatchery. And it looks like there are a good number of roaches out now who will do fairly well against these Zealots and should be able to drive them off without much trouble. 3 more Zealots coming out, missile attack level 1 as well. And TT1, not sure where he wants to go with these 2 Zealots, is running back in, going to try to get a couple more kills. And it looks like the hatchery will go down once again. Good number of roaches out now. IdrA immediately going back into drone production. We do see a robo facility coming down for TT1, as well as speed for the roaches. And there we do see the Zergling scouting down, trying to see what he can see. Does spot the pylon, will go ahead and start picking away at it. Roaches poised and ready to attack. And it looks like they're going to come down and help with this pylon. Missile attack level 2 coming down for IdrA, as well as a good number of Zealots and a lot of sentries down for TT1. Should be a very good force. There is no burrow and no tunneling claws for IdrA, who is going ahead and grabbing himself a 5th. Apparently wants to turn this into a long game, doing a very little bit of distance mining and floating his overlord right on in. Will see all of these gateways and think to himself, oh my. However, without speed, it is not quite done yet. This overlord will not get that much information. A 3rd going down for TT1, and he is moving out with this mainly sentry and zealot force. IdrA starting to pull a couple of hydras, getting a couple more roaches, is going ahead and getting his group spines as well. We did see armor level 1 just finish. Armor level 1 just finish for the Protoss player. Forward pylon is going down. 1 immortal in that mix will do a good job against these roaches. And IdrA might not be prepared for a fight of quite this size. He is pulling back immediately, reinforcing with a lot of Hydralisks. There we do see he is supply capped. Not a very good position for IdrA. TT1 with a very strong mix, getting that Guardian Shield up. Wants to make sure he can do as much damage as possible. Force Fields pinning the Hydras back just out of range of everything except for these Zealots. And there the Roaches are pushing forward, trying to do as much damage as they can. Hydra's not really able to support at all. And the Roaches will get almost entirely cleaned up. 10 Zerglings in production, a Roach, and a couple more Hydralisks. And EGIdrA is out. No GG.